Have you ever had one single second that changed everything, not because it destroyed your life, but because it opened your heart wider than you ever thought possible? Picture this: a tired single dad, exhausted from fixing leaky pipes after a long shift, accidentally pushes open the wrong door, and steps straight into the most vulnerable moment of a powerful CEO's life. She's standing there, scar on full display, whispering the words no one was ever supposed to hear, "I feel so broken." In that heartbeat, most people would back away in shock, maybe even gossip. But this dad, he chooses kindness. And that one choice didn't just save her night, it rewrote both their futures. Stay with me, because this true-to-life inspired story will remind you why a little kindness can heal more than any medicine ever could. If this kind of heart-melting storytelling moves you, hit that subscribe button right now on Kindness Stories so you never miss these weekly tales that lift your spirit. Give this video a thumbs up if you believe kindness is the real superpower, and drop a comment below with the word kind if you've ever seen a small act of compassion change someone's whole world. Your support keeps these stories coming. Thank you. Tonight's story begins in the heart of Chicago, where the wind off Lake Michigan can cut right through your coat and your soul at the same time. Daniel Harper was 34, a single dad raising his 6-year-old daughter Lily all by himself after a drunk driver stole his wife Sarah 2 years earlier. Every morning he woke up before the sun, packed Lily's lunch with a little note that said "You're my superhero," dropped her at school, and then headed to Whitmore Industries downtown. He wasn't in the boardroom wearing fancy suits, he was the facilities manager, the guy who kept the lights on and the pipes working so the big shots could close million-dollar deals. Daniel didn't mind. Every overtime hour meant ballet lessons for Lily and the chance to give her the stable life Sarah had dreamed of. Up on the top floor sat Evelyn Whitmore, the youngest CEO in the company's 80-year history. To the outside world she was ice-sharp suits, sharper negotiations, never a hair out of place. But no one knew that 6 months earlier she'd survived emergency heart surgery for a condition she'd hidden since childhood. A jagged scar now ran down the center of her chest like a lightning bolt she couldn't hide from herself. Every night after the building emptied, Evelyn would lock her private suite door, slip out of her armor, stare at that scar in the mirror, and whisper the same broken sentence, "Why couldn't I just be normal?" One rainy Thursday, a pipe burst on the executive level right before midnight. Daniel grabbed his toolbox and rode the service elevator up, humming the lullaby he used to sing Lily. He thought the floor was empty. He didn't know Evelyn had stayed late after a brutal board meeting. He pushed open the private bathroom door that maintenance keys opened, and there she was, blouse half off, scar glowing under the harsh light, tears streaming as she whispered those words again. Time froze. Daniel's first instinct was to apologize and bolt. But something in her voice, the same raw ache he'd heard in his own mirror after losing Sarah, stopped him cold. He didn't stare, didn't smirk, didn't pull out his phone. He gently said, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'll fix this pipe and be gone in 2 minutes. But, if it's okay, that scar? It looks like the mark of someone who fought like hell and won. My late wife had one from her C-section with Lily. She called it her badge of courage." He kept his eyes on the floor, voice steady and warm like a Midwestern neighbor offering coffee on a cold day. Evelyn expected fury, a lawsuit, or at least awkward silence. Instead she heard kindness, pure, uncomplicated kindness from a man who had nothing to gain. She pulled her blouse closed, wiped her eyes, and managed a shaky "thank you." Daniel fixed the pipe in record time, nodded respectfully, and left without another word. But that night, for the first time in months, Evelyn didn't cry herself to sleep. She slept thinking about the janitor, no, the dad who saw her brokenness and called it strength. The next morning Evelyn summoned Daniel to her office. He walked in expecting to be fired. Instead she slid a coffee across the desk and said, "You didn't have to say what you said last night. Most people would have run or recorded it for gossip. Why didn't you?" Daniel shrugged, smiling softly. "Ma'am, life's already hard enough. Figured you didn't need judgment on top of whatever you're carrying. My daughter Lily says scars are just where superheroes got stitched back together. Evelyn laughed a real laugh that surprised them both. From that moment, tiny acts of kindness started stitching their worlds together. Daniel began leaving little notes on her desk when he serviced her floor, quotes about resilience he found on the internet, a drawing Lily made of a CEO superhero lady. Evelyn, who had never let anyone close, started asking about Lily's ballet recital. She quietly paid for the entire dance studio's new floor after hearing Lily's class needed better practice space, but she made Daniel promise not to tell anyone it came from her. Just kindness, she said. You showed me how. Their connection deepened in the quiet ways that matter most in America: family barbecues on weekends, Evelyn showing up in jeans to watch Lily's recital and cheering louder than any parent, Daniel teaching Evelyn how to make Sarah's famous mac and cheese because grief tastes better when shared. He never pitted her. He celebrated her. When board members whispered that the CEO was getting too friendly with the maintenance guy, Daniel took the heat without complaint. When gossip columns hinted at scandal, Evelyn stepped into a company-wide town hall, unbuttoned her jacket just enough to reveal the scar, and told 10,000 employees, "This mark almost took my life. One kind employee reminded me it proves I'm still here." Kindness doesn't weaken leadership, it makes us human. The room erupted in applause. Investors grumbled, but employee morale soared. Sick days dropped, ideas flowed, because people felt seen. Challenges tested them hard. Daniel's sister warned him the relationship could cost him custody if things went public and ugly. Evelyn's doctors said stress might strain her heart again. One night Lily asked, "Daddy, is Miss Evelyn gonna leave us like Mommy did?" Daniel held his daughter tight and answered, "No, baby. Some people choose to stay, even when it's scary. That's the kindest thing anyone can do." And they chose each other. Evelyn started volunteering at Lily's school, helping kids who felt different because of their own scars: glasses, braces, wheelchairs. Daniel taught her to slow down, to eat real meals, to laugh until her sides hurt. When the board tried to force her out over image, Evelyn stood firm, "Fire me if you want, but I will never apologize for letting kindness in." They didn't fire her. Instead, stock prices climbed because authenticity sold better than perfection. 3 years later, on a sunny autumn day in a small backyard ceremony surrounded by Lily's classmates, close friends, and a few loyal employees, Daniel and Evelyn said "I do." Evelyn wore a simple white dress with the scar proudly visible, no makeup to hide it. Lily walked her down the aisle, pinning a superhero cape on her new mom. As they cut the cake, Daniel whispered, "Remember that night I walked in on you? Best mistake I ever made." Evelyn smiled through happy tears, "You didn't walk in on my brokenness. You walked in with kindness, and healed us both." Friends, that's the power of kindness in real life: not grand gestures, but the quiet choice to see someone's pain and respond with gentle truth instead of judgment. In a country where we rush past strangers every day, where social media rewards the loudest hot takes, Daniel's simple words remind us, you never know whose scar you're about to see. You never know whose whisper of "I feel broken" is waiting for your kindness to answer, "You're a survivor." So today, right where you are, in traffic, at the grocery store, in your own office, look for that moment. Hold the door. Ask, "Are you okay?" and mean it. Tell the tired parent they're doing great. Compliment the coworker who's struggling. Because kindness isn't weakness, it's the glue that turns strangers into family, wounds into wisdom, and ordinary days into life sentences of love. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear that they matter. Carry Daniel's example into your week. Be the person who chooses kindness when it would be easier to scroll past. Because the world doesn't need more perfect CEOs or flawless lives, it needs more single dads with toolboxes and bigger hearts, more Evelyns brave enough to show their scars, and more of us willing to say, "You're not broken. You're beautifully human." Thank you for watching. Go spread some kindness today, you just might rewrite someone's entire story. See you in the next tale on Kindness Stories. Stay kind, America. We've got this.